1v1 on road to Kharkov. This game is going to be IllegalCarrot versus Momo4sho. Soviets in the north versus Overcommando West in the south. IllegalCarrot. Somebody named Ungrateful Bagel followed me on Twitch, and I remember thinking that was equally amusing.
This is our sector now.
I lost my train of thought. Let's talk about commanders. Guard motor, shock rifle, Soviet shock army? Is that what that is? No, terror tactics, man. I never would have got that one. Not very many people field this. Seems kind of decent. Shock troops, KV-8, bomb run. You could definitely see that. Kind of surprised I don't see that more often. Maybe that's just kind of a rare one that you have to buy or something. I don't know. I don't pretend to understand these things. Breakthrough, spec ops, and fortifications from Momo4sho, who's going hard left. Double Folks Grenadier opening, wiring off some cover over here, sending Folks Grenadiers to take control of the victory point right there. Penal Battalion opening from IllegalCarrot, which means that Momo4sho will probably go mechanized as soon as he sees that. Yep. Tier 1 means go mechanized pretty much every time. M3 in production. Folks Grenadiers taking control of the victory point. You can also sort of optionally plant a mine against Tier 1. And exactly what Momo is going to do. It's a lot easier to convince your opponent to hit that mine if you go Kuba Wagon. But Kuba Wagon's kind of high risk. It's a lot easier to bait an M3 with a highly mobile Kuba Wagon than with infantry. You get very little time with which to bait with infantry before you die to the flamethrower inside, so baiting with infantry is a very nuanced skill that I certainly have not even come close to mastering. But I'm sure it can be done.
The mobile command has been set. The static post is now in operation. Grenadiers ready. Taking small arms fire! Grenadiers under attack!
Mine gets detonated by Penal Battalion. Oh, they're gonna get wiped. What are they doing? Retreat! Oh, that late retreat. Stern Pio should have vaulted right there, though. Miss micro from Momo. That was an easy wipe, and he messed it up. He didn't even have to vault. He probably could have just walked up, just not backwards. That was unfortunate miss micro. I think that was a wipe for sure if he had gotten that one right. Kind of a shame letting that get away. Getting a wipe that early could be a huge advantage. But having on mechanized regiment headquarters against Penal Battalion opening, he's probably gonna have an advantage anyway, as long as he maintains fuel control for a little longer. Penal Battalion on the left side could definitely keep moving to harass territory over here. He's so busy microwaving infantry in this area. He's not moving this squad, just sitting here. Let's keep going. Munitions point on the left is cut off. The entire right side has been captured by IllegalCarrot, though. Benefiting, probably has somewhat superior, certainly a superior munitions economy. Somewhat superior fuel economy. The fuel incomes are pretty much the same, actually. Stern Pile is falling low. They're gonna get gunned down on retreat, I think. Planted the mine up there, but then engaged down here. Like I said, baiting an M3 with infantry requires a certain je ne sais quoi. Although jumping the flak half-track into the retreat path will certainly work quite nicely. Not sure if he's gonna... Yep, that's a dead 3. That was a terrible maneuver. I don't know what that was. He could have just reversed to safety and tried to get around a corner. That did not go well. Penal Battalion in the back also forced to retreat, and the flamethrower right here got gunned down in the road somewhere. There he is. Folks Grenadiers pick him off. Pretty terrible opening for IllegalCarrot, manpower-wise, although he has a pretty solid hold on the map, taking back control of the left side cutoff. Guards being fielded, which are the natural response to this. You can kind of see the back and forth dynamic created by guard motor versus mechanized regiment headquarters. Tier 1 is such a logical opening. if you're going guard mode. It makes so much sense to just throw that M3 on the field, try and get some shock value, try and get some really squad wipes before the flak half-track hits the field while you have that window of opportunity, and then punish the decision to go mechanized regiment headquarters with your guards. Although it can be kind of hard to take this thing on with guards. The guards really only manage the threat of the flak half-track. They really don't have a very good chance of killing it. Certainly can't hunt it down if it decides to make an escape unless they execute a beautiful flank. But they act as a quite effective defense against it. PTRS will force it to reposition to safety after a pretty short time. And there it goes. So that's a pretty good example, honestly, of how guards can help you manage the threat of the flak half-track, but they cannot really kill it unless it makes some horrible mismicro. Tier 2 being constructed right here next, so we might see Jagdpanzer. Pretty classic, standard half-track into Jagdpanzer build, from what I can tell, for Volksgrenadier opening. No commander selection yet. Usually see Fusiliers next with this build. Generally is kind of the way it works, but you may or may not choose to go that route. Starting to float manpower a little bit, so it's about time to start picking a commander and fielding its manpower sinks. Gonna go for the retreat point first, though. Nothing wrong with that. Beano Battalion gets blasted by the flak half-track right there. Volksgrenadiers did not receive healing before this engagement, need to try and hide for now. The entire right side will fall into Momo's hands. Volksgrenadiers take control of that area. Beano Battalions need to retreat. What are they doing? Get out of there. Sternpyos move to support in this engagement. Volksgrenadiers move way around the corner to make sure they can heal without being in combat. Flak half-track moves up to engage Beano Battalions over here from the left side. Guards are not in range to engage that flak half-track and are hesitant to leave their green cover position because they don't want to be overextended and forced to retreat, giving that flak half-track free reign to do whatever it wants anywhere on the battlefield.
Guard rifle infantry squads can now be called to fight for the motherland. Enemy forces capturing supply sector. We need to re-establish our supply lines.
That's not good. Volksgrenadiers wait way too long to retreat with those guards in their retreat path. They get gunned down by PTRSs very quickly. He's got a little bit of manpower float to work with. He's going to replace that Volksgrenadier squad now. Working on trying to get some resources back here on the left side. Volksgrenadiers and Sternpyos moving to do so with with guards in this building and green cover in this area. That flak half-track has to keep its distance.
Grenadier ready for action. Supply hub Keta is ready for orders. Contact! Flamethrower group!
Beano Battalions making their way towards the battle group headquarters right here. Volksgrenadiers need to get into cover and get out of flamethrower range. Flak half-track moving to assist, takes another blast from those PTRSs over there, but will be able to screen against this advance. Without conscripts to damage this thing's engine, it's not going to go down. Unless Momo4sho just gets absolutely super lazy about microing it and just does not move it. Which is not going to happen. No commander selection yet from Momo. Again, Spec Ops, Fortifications, and Breakthrough. This would be a good time to pick Breakthrough and start fielding Fusiliers with G43s to counter those PTRSs. Terrible grenade. Way off target. No chance of that impacting. Screen cover position probably won't last forever. That is a pretty aggressive half-track maneuver right there, but he will suppress that lone squad of guards pretty quickly, I think, if he targets the guards. He's targeting the penals in the back. Pretty late retreat, but those squads will get away. Soviet player engaging horribly against this flak half-track. Engaging it frontally through a choke point. No effort made to try and flank whatsoever. Just running straight at this thing. Pretty much the worst thing he could do. He doesn't set up a nice, tight, multi-directional flank. There is no surviving this game. Map control for Momo is growing.
Regimental headquarters advise. Panzer Fusiliers are ready for action.
Battalion will be forced away there on the right side soon. Satchel into the house, or immediately retreating from the threat of a flak half-track right there. And we'll continue to simply take territory, and we will see another push from IllegalCarrot on the left side with a huge blob. Penal and guard blob. Momo is amused by this. Apparently. Reinforcing here by the battle group headquarters. Because of his decision to send all of his forces in one giant clump like this, he has lost the entire map. Heavy mortar on the field to try and bombard the battle group headquarters. Might be able to do some good damage with that. Momo starting to float quite badly, and rather than going for Jagdpanzer, it looks like we may see not Jagdpanzer. I don't know. He hasn't built tier 4 yet, so I'm not sure what his next fuel purchase is going to be. He has chosen breakthrough. He may even be able to justify a Stuka. Maybe. He would have to buy a ton of Panzerschrecks though. At 6 command points, you know your opponent's not really that close to getting a his call-in tanks. You might get like maybe 2 or 3 Stuka barrages off if they wipe any squads. Then you have, or inflict really significant manpower bleed. Either of those things can really delay your opponent's call-ins. So playing the manpower game really more than the fuel game when you go Stuka to try to bleed your opponent's manpower and force him to delay his call-ins that way. Especially when you see heavy mortar, Stuka's pretty much the best tool OKW has to deal with that heavy mortar. So when your map control advantage is this strong, you could probably justify it, but you need to protect it very carefully with Rakettenwerfers and mines, and just make sure that an aggressive push by those Soviet call-ins gets shut down as hard as possible with a well-prepared defense or ambush or something. Panzer Fusiliers can help with their AT grenades as well. It's a good source of engine damage. Heavy mortar has yet to get any big hits. There's one. That's going to get screened away by those Volksgrenadiers, while the rest of the army is simply reinforcing here in the base, receiving some healing. Momo has gone Jagdpanzer. Okay, never mind. Judging by his float, I thought we were looking at tier 4 or Stuka maybe. Maybe he just wasn't sure what he wanted yet, but he's just going to play it safe, go Jagdpanzer. It makes sense. Call-ins are coming. Gonna have to replace that squad. It's the second time I've seen a Volksgrenadier squad on the left side just die. Standing there. Apparently Momo doesn't know what happened. A grenade killed them. They stood there and ate a grenade, and that's what happened. Now you know, Momo. Panzer Fusiliers over here on the right side, plus Volksgrenadiers. Flak half-track moving up to assist. Somebody threw a grenade over here. Doesn't look like anything really connected though. Volksgrenadiers have to retreat away from the blob, which is advancing, and the heavy mortar is setting up to maybe have range on the battle group headquarters from there. I'm not sure. It's pretty far. Penal Battalion retreats from the right side. This fuel point will go back into Momo's control, and these forces are making their way back out of the central base. Try and make a play for this cutoff, see if they can make something happen against that heavy mortar and force a retreat. Jagdpanzer's on the field and is well in advance of the Soviet call-ins. Looking at your own victory points or command points is a pretty good way to gauge how far away your opponent's call-ins are. So you see this, you think, okay, I still have at least a command point and a half before those T-34-85s arrive. Gives me some time to buy my Panzerschrecks, plant my mines, whatever I'm gonna do. Munitions transfer just got thrown on to bolster Panzerschreck production. Pretty good timing on that, and it looks like he wants to build tier 4 somewhere as well.
Infantry attacking in force! Caution! They have a flamethrower! Completed!
Oh, that heavy mortar shot. That was devastating. These two squads need to reinforce the battle group headquarters. These two. Force those guards to retreat. G43 is at point blank on those penal battalions, dealing massive damage. Grenade tossed. That was a horrible grenade. I don't even know what that was supposed to hit. That was not even close. Ooh, that heavy mortar. This is exactly what I was talking about. This is what makes, like, imagine if both of those had just got wiped just now. That's why I like going Stuka. Even though it means it's kind of hard when the Collins arrive to keep the Stuka alive and you have to prepare with infantry-based tank counters. It's really nice to have something that can dish out a little payback against that. That thing is just so brutal. It's so painful every time it lands like that, and you're just like, what? Oh my god. It's kind of funny because it means you get frustrated at your losses even when you're just totally dominating. Momo is not even close to losing this game. He is dominating at every turn, and yet when that heavy mortar landed, he probably like, oh my god. This heavy mortar. I feel like I'm gonna lose, even though it's impossible for me to lose given the situation I'm in. IllegalCarrot up to 600 manpower. Collins are gonna be here soon, assuming he can restore his cutoff. Losing all 3 cutoff points right outside of his base has reduced him to only 4 fuel coming in, which means he's going to have to wait 2.5 minutes to get the 10 more fuel he needs for his T-3485s. But he'll probably be able to get that stuff back under control with his next push.
Squad.
I wonder if Momo is planning to do something about this. Just trading these 2 territories. That is a horrible overextension, by the way. Without vision of the AA half-track, without vision of basically anything Momo has on the field, this is asking to get wiped. I'm surprised that flak half-track isn't on its way to wipe that squad already. I'd rather protect this cutoff. I would just try and pick up that squad wipe. Try and drain my opponent's manpower as absolutely hard as I can. Not that this isn't a pretty good manpower drain, but that is a free squad wipe. There's no way that would get away if he made even half an attempt to wipe that on retreat. You know, battalion trying to move wide away from the tier 4 structure. Flak half track. What is it doing? That was an interesting maneuver right there. That seemed motivated more by frustration than anything else. Guess he gave those guards some free vet. I don't know what else he was intending to accomplish. Charging into 2 squads of guards in green cover. Pulls back for repairs here by the tier 2 structure. Folks Grenadiers set up in green cover will engage those guards as they advance. Panzer Fusiliers set up in green cover over here as well. Should be able to win this engagement, and he's perfectly positioned in green cover for this particular stuff. And those guards will retreat. Those guards also going to retreat. Panzer Fusiliers taking back control of the south fuel, and unfortunately, the penal battalion that was harassing in that area does get to safety. Because Momo doesn't capitalize on that monstrous overextension. The Colin tanks have arrived and are going to make a push straight for the battle group headquarters into what looks like just one Panzerschreck and a Raketenwerfer. This one going very deep on that flak half track, but it hits a shoe mine. Nice placement on the mine right there. Flak half track is not moving to escape this push. Probably should. That T-34 goes down to the Jagdpanzer, Raketenwerfer, and Panzerschreck. That'll be some free fuel. This one has to pull back to safety with its damaged engine. I don't even think it's going to get away. Jagdpanzer slowly navigating this labyrinth. It'll catch that thing. It's not going anywhere. That's a dead T-34. There's nothing that can save it. There it goes. T-34 destroyed, and that's going to wrap up the game. Pretty textbook stuff, I would say, from Momo this game, really. Pretty much executed Price's build from Star-Crossed Kings, pre-patch, hasn't changed. Still effective. Flak half-track into Jagdpanzer, Panzer Fusiliers for anti-infantry, Volksgrenadier support. Pretty textbook stuff. And good defense against the columns with the mine on the flank. Kettenwerfer hit the field just in time. He did go tier 4, but didn't purchase any units out of it. That might have been fun, but GG. Axis wins.